Okay, now we'll start. Respected Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, Chairman Board of Governors, IIT Kanpur. Shri Naresh Pal Gangwar, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Ms. Sepatson, Lead, Environment, World Bank. Sri Chandbhushan Ji, CEO, iFOREST. All my colleagues, faculty resource, as part of this nationwide capacity building program, and all the participants who are going to join this program in next 3 weeks from different institutes of repute, city officials, state pollution control boards. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of myself and also National Knowledge Network. As you know, this program is supported by the World Bank, and it is conducted and organized under the aegis of National Knowledge Network, which is created by Central Pollution Control Board and the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change as a part of National Clean Air Program. So with that, now I also welcome now Shri Tanmay Kumar Ji, Chairman Central Pollution Control Board has just joined. I also extend my hearty welcome to him. So now, Namaskar, Tanmay Kumar Ji. Now I will just share few slides, 3 or 4 slides about the knowledge network and the program to bring everyone on the same page. And then after that, the program will start. Can somebody enable me? I'm not able to share my slide. Virendra or anybody from iFOREST, can you enable the slide sharing for me? Okay. Okay, I hope now you can see the slide. So this is basically a national program for capacity development for air quality management, which is aligned with National Skills Qualification Framework. This is done as a part of National Knowledge Network and it is supported by the World Bank. And we have as partners here, IIT, IIT Madras, IIT Roorkee, NEERI, IIT Bombay, and iFOREST. As you see that this knowledge network was actually created last year in consultation with Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and Central Pollution Control Board with a vision to impart and create local capacity to support clean air program and also create institutes of repute or bring institutes of repute who can do the third-party assessments as this program is on the roll. So this is basically, as you see, the broad framework of the program here. Basically, overall, it is guided by MOEF and CC. And then CPCB is here, where, of course, it's the central regulator, if you may. And knowledge network is going to have a bi-directional knowledge flow between CPCB and knowledge network. Knowledge network also would identify and of course impart wherever is required capacity to these institutes of repute, which basically comprise of IITs, NITs, and all central laboratories. And these institutes of repute would work in turn with State Pollution Control Board and urban local bodies. So as of now, what you see on the map of India, there are 2 symbols. One by circle is the non-attainment cities, the cities which are not able to meet the safe limit, the criteria that is set by Central Pollution Control Board, and the stars are shown by institutes of repute. So as of now, you see that the institutes of repute are spanning across all states and all UTs, and currently there are about 95 institutes of repute which have been identified, and in 115 plus cities, MOUs, tripartite MOUs have been signed between Institute of Repute, State Pollution Control Board, and between the city governance. Now, this program, as you see, was conceptualized by NKN, and it is supported by World Bank. And as of now, when the program started, we reached out to about 1,500 people who are either the scientists from State Pollution Control Board, or the city officials who are going to implement the program on ground, or the faculty member and scientists from institutes of repute and central or other leading laboratories in the country. And as of a couple of days back, 250 plus participants have already registered for this program, which is going to run for next 3 weeks. And overall, there are 12 training programs which are going to be imparted as a part of this 3-week long course. So the way it is working is the World Bank group, which has a technical assistance MOU signed with the ministry. As part of that, they are supporting IIT Kanpur, where the Knowledge Network Secretariat has been established. And IIT Kanpur is working with all the partners, which are IIT Madras, IIT Roorkee, iFOREST, and NEERI. And together, the entire program have been designed. Some of that details also, I believe, Chandbhushan will tell. So primarily, this program is focusing on these topics, looking at their pollution and its impacts on health, air quality monitoring network, introduction to city action plan. This is led by NEERI, by Mrs. Padma Rao. Then how do we do the stakeholder engagement and we empower them? Then some discussion will also happen on airshed, because this is a new concept which is emerging for doing the air quality management in the country. Some preliminary introduction to the modeling techniques also will be given, because as such we call it the induction training. And idea is that depending on the feedback, there will be detailed and targeted refresher course also would follow up from this program. And of course, best practices also will be discussed. So there are 6 induction training, which you see that they cover a myriad of topics shown by these different colored dots. There are 12 hours, 3-day program that will run on 7th February, 10th February, 14th February, 17th, 21st, and 24th. And then the city action plan is more focused, which comprises of 20-hour 5-day program, and that would run on 21st, 22nd, 28th February, and 1st, 7th, and 8th March. So with this, now I will stop sharing my slide. And now I would invite Ms. Safartson to give a brief remarks.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Tripathi, and namaste to everyone. I'm happy to welcome everyone to this initial National Knowledge Network training event this afternoon, and to represent the World Bank team as a collaborating partner. The World Bank is a proud supporter of the National Knowledge Network and its vision to help expand capacity for air quality management planning and knowledge sharing across India since its inception several years back. And we've been especially engaged within the IGP subgroup, given the priority of the Indo-Gangetic Plain for our work. We are helping in a small way to support the kickoff today, and these initial NCAP training courses delivered by the NKN core partners. This is just a first step for a larger vision for a more systematic and long-term skills development and training framework integrated into the National Skills Qualification Framework for India. Institutions of the NKN that are delivering these initial training today, like IIT Kanpur, IIT Roorkee, IIT Madras, IIT Mumbai, and NEERI, with the help of iFOREST and others, are not only relied on and highly regarded for their work within India, but they're also highly connected and regarded on an international level. But their capacity is very stretched because the demands to step up work internally in India has increased, and it's only growing. And with a new higher workload, it's here to stay. So the goal is to broaden and deepen capacity for air quality management all across India as efficiently as possible. State officials, pollution control boards, and municipalities need help with technical work and want and need tailored, localized support. An expansion in the pipeline of qualified graduates in air quality management and atmospheric sciences is needed for new job streams in India, such as staffing up the air pollution cells at the state and the municipal level. So the World Bank is helping through our TA program to kickstart this initial training. But more important than this, we're helping the National Knowledge Network partners to work together with the CPCB and the MOEFCC to develop the comprehensive national skills qualification framework for air quality management that would be aligned with the Skills Council jobs in that level 4 to 7 range. So delivery on this will require explicit funding and sustained commitment behind a systematic multi-year rollout plan. Capacity development left to be funded and implemented ad hoc cannot deliver transformative impact required at this juncture. So we are proud to be working with this generation of government officials and air quality management champions, working to set up a framework for capacity and job skill training for the long term now. The induction training that we're kicking off today is just the very beginning of this vision and process. This more systematic approach to capacity development will be open to the widest possible talent pool across India, needed to rapidly expand work on air quality management. It will be especially important as India moves in new directions like broadening to airshed management, and a long-term program will also introduce knowledge for more specialized domains like air quality modeling, data verification, and sector-specific implementation skills. So finally, I just want to wish the training team and participants well today as we kick off this work, and we hope this first course serves to whet the appetite for more while initiating an important feedback loop to help the NKN team design a more comprehensive series of longer-term training courses with outcomes aligned to the Skills Council on Green Jobs. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Now I invite Sri Naresh Pal Gangwar, Additional Secretary, MOEFCC, to give his keynote.
Good afternoon, everybody. At the outset, I wish to congratulate National Knowledge Network, IIT Kanpur, IIT Roorkee, IIT Madras, CSR, NEERI, iFOREST, and World Bank for jointly organizing the online training program on National Clean Air program that is being launched today on 7th February 2022. I'm very happy to note one of the most important key stakeholders are part of this induction training, that is State Pollution Control Board, city officials, and the representative of IOR. You're all aware that NKN and the entire network, National Knowledge Network, has been established to provide technical guidance and support to the cities which are being targeted under National Clean Air program for improving the air quality over a period of time. And you are also aware that 132 cities are being targeted under this program in a mission mode. And on 15th August 2020, Honorable Prime Minister also emphasized the need to make holistic efforts for improving air quality of these cities. And as we are aware that the sources of air pollution are not only reside locally, but they originate from sources outside these cities, that is, and they have got transboundary origin also. And around 50 to 60% of the problem can be taken care of by effectively implementing actions at the level of cities. And role of city administrator and officials of urban local bodies is a very, very critical for the success of this program. So this training program, I am sure that is going to help us in putting these actions in place in a coordinated manner. Under the Clean Air program, all these 132 cities have been asked to prepare their city action plans and also micro action plans of the activities which they will be taken up for next 5 years for achieving targeted reduction in PM10 and 2.5 as envisaged under the program. And implementation of these city action plans is the key to success for at least taking care of local anthropogenic sources of air pollution. And IOR have been designated and have been assigned to the cities to help cities understand the technical aspect of air quality control and also help them implementing these action plans. As cities action plans involve coordinated effort from many other agencies, not only urban local bodies. So I would request Professor Tripathi that we should also plan some kind of induction training courses for other stakeholders other than the urban local bodies, like transport department and other related agencies at the local level. And you are also aware that recently the entire philosophy of National Clean Air Program is undergoing change. Now funding from the ministry is being made available to the cities based on the performance of achieving pre-decided targets of reduction in PM10 level by making efforts and by converging resources from various schemes of the other ministries and maybe mobilizing resources from their own sources. So in these trainings, the component of convergence of resources from various other schemes and as well as mobilizing resources locally should also be a very important component of this training, so that the municipal corporations can mobilize additional resources and should not only dependent on the resources which are being provided under NCAP. As I've told you that this is a very important group for us, and I think NKN have done a great job by taking up this training program. And I think CPCB should also be actively involved because CPCB is the central nodal agency for implementing this program, and some implementation aspect of city action plans and maybe the actions which are to be taken at the state level should also be included, especially the state action plan and nuances of these activities which are to be taken up by the states as well as city authorities. That should also be included as a part of this training. Maybe not in I don't see this included in this particular session, but the next session, which is primarily focusing on city action plan, and that is going to be a little longer also for longer duration. I would expect that CPCB should actively involved in that, and we should also be able to deal with the implementation aspect of city action plan, because the action plan is, I mean, maybe we are able to prepare ideal kind of action plans, but it will be ideal only when it is implemented on the ground. So that those nitty-gritties and those aspects should also be addressed in these training programs. So I think that should be included in the phase 2. And I would again like to congratulate NKN for starting this. And I think through this program, you are saying that number of these such training programs are planned for orienting city level agencies and pollution control boards. So I think that this program is going to help us in a big way in achieving the targets which are envisaged in NCAP, and any other support which is needed from the ministry or from the CPCB or any of the agencies of government for this program, we will be very happy to provide that. There are many other ministries of Government of India who have taken up various programs which are supporting the city action plans for reducing clean air. If in case you think that there is some support required from other ministries also during this training, that can also be provided. And I'm very certain that if these training programs are held effectively, they will certainly help us in further strengthening the implementation of NCAP and the kind of institutional framework which we have tried to put in place at the ground level. That will also get strengthened at the outcome of these trainings. I want to thank NKN and IIT Kanpur for inviting me and giving me opportunity to talk on this occasion. And I would expect that they will come back to me if they at all they require any support from the government or from any other associate agency, CPC, etc. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Gangwar. Now I invite Shri Tanmay Kumar, Chairman, Central Pollution Control Board, to give his special guest address.
Thank you, Professor Tripathi, and thank you for inviting me to this function. I, on behalf of CPC, would like to extend a warm welcome to all the partners of the Knowledge Network, World Bank, iFOREST, NEERI, and to my colleague in the ministry, Mr. Naresh Gangwar. So this is a very important step towards, educating the stakeholders regarding the entire program. And we in CPCB are actively working with the ministry towards the implementation of this program, as Naresh has already mentioned. And this is an important program in the sense that, while the resources have been allocated by Government of India for the National Clean Air Program and also for the 42 million plus cities, these resources by themselves are not adequate enough to sort of implement the program in isolation. As Naresh has already mentioned, convergence is an important aspect of this program. And to my mind, convergence, then collaboration, and then competition. So if we actually converge the various aspects of the different programs of the ministry, there are 7 ministries at the central level, and so there are ministries at the state level. And this induction program also needs to be worked out to sort of, involve all the stakeholders. So that is an important aspect because the funding of this program is linked to performance. And if the performance is not forthcoming, the funds will go disproportionate to the state, to the cities where we are seeing performance. So that is an important aspect of the program. So we have to, while doing the induction program itself, we have to sensitize the urban local bodies, but they themselves cannot do it unless all the others work as a team. So team effort is a very important aspect of the entire scheme. So that collaboration with all the stakeholders towards implementing the progress is a very important aspect, and continuous performance. So to that extent, I would say, while the as you have rightly included in your curriculum, sensitization towards the airshed, sensitization towards the hotspots, sensitization towards the modeling. So the entire team gets activated. And as Naresh has conceived the program, in this program, the chief secretaries also have a very major role in the state. So it has to be, while the physical boundaries are important to measure the outcome of the program, the construct of the program is such that it may transcend the physical boundaries, because the impact of other districts, other areas will have a bearing on the program in that particular area where we are evaluating. So we have to look beyond the physical boundaries of the district also to be able to arrive at a solution which will enable them to perform and to source the funds which is available. So that is an important program aspect of the program, and that program that needs to be highlighted. Just to give you a brief, the funding of the program is based on performance on 4 parameters. First is the strengthening of the pollution monitoring mechanism. So that is one aspect. Second is the source-wise cause analysis for air pollution. That is another area of performance. The third is the progress on action plans and compliance of statutory guidelines. And the last is the quantification of air quality improvement. So all these things will go into the performance ranking, and therefore the funds will flow as per the performance. We in CPCB, with the active collaboration of the ministry and GIZ, are trying to sort of prepare the intra portal for Prana. So that is the air quality network. So that under the scheme, the NCAP scheme, whatever fund is going, we are trying to monitor that through this portal. And the intra portal in times to come will evolve into a paperless transaction portal where not much effort goes into compilation of data, because the right from the sanction of the funds up to the expenditure on the field, and then its utilization certificate generation and further evaluation, etc., would be done through the portal itself. So that time is saved and the time is utilized for quality monitoring of the program. So that is being developed and we hope to complete it very soon. And once it is ready, we would like to involve the knowledge network also, and to take your inputs also, and to share with the stakeholders also. So that is going to be an important aspect of the entire program. So this is another important initiative which CPCB is taking, apart from monitoring the micro level action plans and other things. So that is a continuing exercise. And CPCB has already done this monitoring aspect and approval of the macro level action plan. But the crux lies in implementation of those action plans on the ground. So there, I think sensitization workshops of this nature, a year-round calendar for organizing such training programs, capacity building programs. For example, identifying a hotspot. What is a hotspot? So these things are not very, I would say, wired into the functioning of the urban local bodies. So urban local bodies need to be sensitized enough for this purpose. So that is going to be an important aspect of the entire program. I think during the course of deliberations, a lot of other issues will also crop up. But on behalf of CPCB, I would like to assure that CPCB is making a lot of efforts of reaching out to the knowledge network, to the individual institutes of repute also, and to other stakeholders also. So we in CPCB had monitored with the state pollution control boards also. So we about the implementation and rollout of the program. So there, I think as of today, we need to actually gear them up. So I'm sure during the capacity building program which is happening, once it gets going and the local bodies develop that strength to be able to identify the areas, and to actually, if you can train them into identification of the areas which need to be addressed on priority, to be able to improve their ranking, performance, and get funds. That I think will be a major contribution and a major takeaway from this conference. I would like to thank you, Mr. Tripathi, once again for inviting me to this function, and to all the participants, and with a renewed assurance of all help and cooperation from CPCB. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri Tanmay Kumar. In a short term, of course, we'll like to, or we'll ensure that CPCB's involvement in the City Action Plan related modules happens. We'll ensure that, and on other points, certainly we'll come back to you and Shri Gangwar. Now I cordially invite Dr. K. Radhakrishnan sir, who is chairman of Board of Governors, IIT Kanpur, to give his credential address, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all the distinguished participants and the panelists. I'm extremely happy to be with you on the launch of this induction program. In fact, clean air is the birthright of all living organisms, and it is the onus of the authorities to ensure that it's available to all. And this is the shared global concern when we talk about the sustainable development, or the climate change and impacts, and the hazards and mitigation of the impact of all those. Now, these are all important for the humanity. And when we talk about the technologists and the scientists, what they can contribute towards this mission, essentially, globally, we talk about big science and deep technology. Let me also congratulate the IIT community, the NIT community for joining the National Knowledge Network and helping the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and the Central Pollution Control Boards and their officials to take forward this program. I also know, with my long association with the space community, that the Ministry of Environment and the Central Pollution Control Boards have been foreigners of the use of remote sensing, essentially land remote sensing. But technology has advanced there too. Today, we can look at atmosphere in a very major way using satellite systems. And when it comes to macro level monitoring, when we talk about the hotspots and for all the modeling of the changes that are taking place, and also to look at the past and see the variations, impacts of it. This spatial synoptic data will be extremely useful. I request you again to be in touch with the Ministry of Earth Sciences and the Department of Space to add these new elements. And globally, the Committee on Earth Observation Systems and the GEO are also engaged in this activity. Make use of this new dimension too. With this, I will close my remarks. Wish you all the best. And Professor Tripathi, you have been doing extremely good work. And your laboratory was one of the first destinations for my visit when I became part of the Kanpur IIT's board. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Radhakrishnan, sir. I just want to say that CPCB has constituted a committee to provide guidelines on the hybrid monitoring network. And very senior scientist, Dr. Bahuguna, is from the SAC, Space Application Center, is part of that. Just to let you know. Thank you, sir. Thank you for on very short notice come here. Now, finally, I will hand it over to Sri Chandbhushan, CEO, iFOREST, for giving the vote of thanks. Chandbhushan.
Just to add to Professor Tripathi.
Yes.
Just to add to what Professor Radhakrishnan ji said, that CPCB is also trying to utilize the satellite-based aerosol optical depth technique for air quality monitoring. So we are trying to formalize that, with of course a disclaimer, because it cannot stand the scrutiny in a test in a court of law. But then we are trying to use it as a method of educating public at large.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tripathi ji, and Shri K. Radhakrishnan, Shri Naresh Pal Gangwar ji, Shri Tanmay Kumar, Ms. Karen, my colleagues who have joined together, Shri Tripathi, Ajay Deshpande ji, Professor Gurjar, Professor Sachin, Padma Rao ji. Thank you very much. We have kick-started this program. It has taken some time, but I think we are now seeing how this program is going to develop over a period of time. As Karen rightly said, these are induction programs. This is the beginning of a process in which NKN and everyone associated with NCAP, we will try and develop a national framework for air quality capacity development. Ad hoc training is not always fruitful. We need a process, we need a system under which capacity development should happen. And this is what the endeavor of this entire program is. But we are not only going to do technical training. Technical training is important, but not sufficient. We also have to think about skill. And therefore, the idea of national framework for capacity building in air quality management is to link technical knowledge with skills so that people can actually get job in air quality management. There are people who are already in job, they need to be trained. but there will be large amount of job in future for air quality management for which we do not have capacity still. So therefore, this entire program is being linked with National Skill Qualification Framework, so that people who will qualify under these training program can actually be certified by under National Skill Qualification Framework. They will be job ready, and therefore this program can also lead to employment in environmental management, a big area where we need to focus on. So let me end by saying that this is the beginning. We are doing induction course. We will do induction course on city action plan. But by the end of this project with World Bank, we will also come out with the national framework on air quality capacity development. The entire NKN team is contributing to that. We are in touch with all government departments and private sector to understand what kind of skills is required. We are in touch with city governments. And our hope is that we will come out with a national framework which will give us a roadmap for 10 years at least in terms of what kind of capacity development is required. I would like to thank all the participants. I would like to thank all the panelists. Thank you very much for coming, and let's start this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chandbhushan ji. Thank you, everyone. And particularly thank to CPCB chairman and Sri Gangwar for taking time out when the parliament session is on. I'm really grateful to you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Professor
you.
Tripathi. Thank you very much.